Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am joined today by Suvi Honkanen. Say hello,
Hi guys.
Suvi. Oh, she's back. So now we're going to be talking about the best things and the worst things our ballet teachers have said to us over the years. Some things have been really nice and really encouraging and amazing. Let's just say some things have been a bit blunt, maybe maybe even slightly mean, maybe even slightly traumatizing. Let's discuss. Let's start from the very beginning, Suvi. Let's start from the very first lessons you remember.
Well, okay. So
Or when you had like a proper teacher.
Yep. So my first teacher, she was from Estonia, I believe.
Yeah.
She was very blunt and very like precise with everything, but she wasn't. I can't remember that she told me anything super mean.
Yeah.
That at least that has stuck to my mind. I do remember she was very demanding and we did very slow exercises and sometimes I was a bit bored maybe. But I can't remember her saying anything mean.
Yeah.
To be
Did
honest.
you enjoy that teacher?
I did, but I feel like she wasn't very interested in us.
Okay.
Yeah, I only had her for a year. So I also didn't get like a lot of care, you know? Yeah. What about you?
Yes, I've had some really great teachers and I've had some quite entertaining ones. I think thinking back, one of the main things I remember is this teacher I had at this performing arts school I was going to, and she was a fine teacher, nothing sort of massively inspiring, but she was very one for the imagery. And so basically we would this is funny. So like we were often taking class in a sort of ballroom. And there were when we were sort of in a school which was in a mansion, so there were like trees outside.
Yeah.
And I always remember she had like acrylic nails, and she would always like say, "Use your glutes," and put the nail like up into the glute. But then she would also say, "Girls," and then she would like turn around and face the trees and say, "You must project more. The trees are your audience," like that. And I and it was just like, okay, quite entertaining, like hard to take seriously.
One very funny thing that I remember,
Yeah,
my first teacher saying, she was explaining in this very Estonian accent about the standing leg. And like, you know, if you do tandu to the side or tandu wherever, you don't want to follow, you know, away from the standing leg. So she explained in a way that Hansel and Gretel are going to the woods.
Yeah.
Home is here. This is home.
Yeah.
Like standing like, Hansel and Gretel don't want to go far away. Otherwise, they will be eaten by the wolf.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel want to find their way home.
How old were you?
Like 6, 7.
Okay, cool. I almost feel like that is a bit too young for 6 or 7-year-old. Or did you enjoy it at the time?
Oh, yeah. It felt... That was very...
Like, I mean, that's
I remember
like maybe 4 years old.
I remember we were giggling a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
But I still remember it.
Yeah.
Standing leg is your home and you don't want to go far away. You don't want to get lost in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that, though. Maybe you could use that for, like, you know, very small children. Yeah, yeah. And then, but yes, up until that point, I was probably like 10. I didn't have anyone that was overly sort of, I would say, not anyone who was overly encouraging or at all, you know, mean or
I feel
too energetic.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I had a Russian coach from the age of about 9, 10, and she was very blunt, very strict, but she would not say anything disparaging. She wouldn't be overly happy either, but she would say, she would always say, pull up, 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 like, but like for pull up, you know, but it would always be like pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. So it sounded a bit like plop, 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 like this all the time. And she would just say like every day if we were hanging out afterwards, because she kind of got closer with me over the years. She would be like, you need to, not good enough, not good enough. Like after every lesson, like, no, need to try harder. Like jump, not good enough, turn out, not good enough, all this stuff. And it was like, okay. It wasn't done in a like, you suck kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, you need to be better. That's it.
Yeah.
And actually,
It's a fact.
yeah, it's a fact. Later though, things got a little bit more intense for me.
Things escalated.
Let's start with you though.
Oh, with like the following years?
Yeah.
Well, I feel the same. I didn't have any extremes, I feel like. I had one teacher for a couple of years who said about my arms that I look like a chicken because elbow was dropping. So
chicken wings.
And then I was in Boulder Ballet School for a couple of years because my family moved to the US, and I had a very, very nice experience there. Wonderful teachers, very encouraging. Can't say a bad thing about them. Like only positive things to say from those teachers. But yeah, same. When I came back and I was, I guess, like 15 at this point, things got interesting.
Yeah, go on.
So, well, there was this one teacher, quite like how would you say, like a distinguished name.
Yeah.
In Helsinki at least, an ex-dancer, old lady, who has since died. R.I.P. She didn't like me very much. She taught the highest level in the school, and they took, I think, 4 girls from the lower level, like 1 level lower, to her class, like a higher class, and I was one of them. Of course, it felt very nice, but she did not like me at all.
Why?
And,
Why?
I think there were probably many reasons. One of them, I had come from the States, and she didn't like the way I was doing, certain things, I guess. And also at the time I had maybe dyed my hair red, and I was maybe going through a little bit of a punk phase because I fell in love with My Chemical Romance singer. So maybe I was just not really...
You weren't matching her.
I wasn't matching her vibe.
Ideal.
Yeah. Which, I don't blame her. But
yeah.
Also, I don't think I actually worked as hard as I could have. Like, I probably gave off a bit of a lazy vibe.
Okay.
Like I see that happening. I wasn't consciously thinking, I don't want to work. I'm lazy. But later on, I could see like, there's so much more that I could have done. There's so much harder that I could have worked harder.
Do you think there's a reason you weren't working harder?
I think one reason was because...
you didn't... Was it like you didn't know you could have worked harder?
Basically, because things were kind of easy. Like, I could turn quite easy without having to work for it, really.
Yeah.
I had like very natural turn, but I could have worked my position, could have been much better.
Yeah.
I could have worked my turnout in the many things could have been better, but I just thought, I'm turning, so it's enough. So I didn't realize that just because something feels easy doesn't mean that it's good enough.
Right.
Yeah. But I learned that soon after. But anyway, so she dropped me back to the lower class, and I was furious.
Yeah.
I was furious. I was at home like this, and then I was determined that I would become so good that she would have to swallow her pride and take me back.
Yeah. And Suvi, when she sets her mind on something, she does it. She's one of those people that just like does what she says she's going to do. So you did, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So what happened?
Well, first, for a week, I was very angry. And then I put the anger into proving that I'm the best student in that class. And I just started working like crazy. And then after a while, she invited me back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The power of will.
Yes.
And grit.
Yes.
Putting your mind to something.
Yes. Yes. But one annoying thing about this same teacher is that I was pretty good at catching combinations, like, like this. And once I made a mistake that I did turned to the wrong direction or something. And she started calling me a cloud head. Cloud head.
Yeah.
Suvi's in the clouds again. And even though it was one time, and that also made me furious because I was like, I am not a cloud head. Yeah. Anyway, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I had some, when I was around like 15, there was some tumultuous times, maybe slightly younger, maybe 13 to 15. I was going through a bit of a growth spurt, and so it was a little bit lanky, and teachers were trying to stuff my feet into shoes 2 sizes too small, and they would say, your shoes look like boats.
Yeah.
And I was just like, thanks. When unfortunately I went through a phase of like my feet would grow first, so it would be like clown feet and then the rest of me, and so the rest of me caught up later.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
So cute.
Really?
Yeah,
but it was actually really difficult for me because I had sort of, because my feet grew really quick, I had got like bursitis in my metatarsals, because I was just like, these bones were like super fragile,
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of inflammation. But I was going through a bit of a difficult time at the Royal Ballet School, and my mum occasionally would like email in or phone in and say, because I was struggling with a bit of pain in my feet, and then because I grew really quick, my calf pulled and I needed to rest, and unfortunately I wasn't allowed to rest much. Like really, it was quite terrifying how much I had to like carry on, and I was only like 13. I was so scared of stopping. And then what? My mum phoned in, and then they said to my mum, cut the umbilical cord, Anne. Like that, because she was just like,
looking after her child,
just trying to protect me a little bit from being forced to dance. So that was quite tough, and it just felt quite tense. But good things that happened. I actually, at the Royal Ballet School, there was a really nice teacher I really liked, and she doesn't work there anymore, but she had such great energy, and I feel like you respond so much to the vibe of the teacher, the energy they give in the room. And she was just very positive and always kind of doing it herself as well. And that for me makes a huge difference when I feel inspired by the teacher with me. I'm not such a fan of, even like in Russia, our teachers, Sinikova, I'm trying to think back, but she sat down a fair amount, but she did get up.
Yeah.
And the way she corrected was so obvious.
Yeah.
Like she'd be like, you be like this, I want this, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think Sinikova actually said to me once, did you come out of your mother's womb turned in? I actually think that's what she said to me. Which was kind of like a bit graphic and a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And there was one thing she said to me, and I thought she was saying I look like a raisin. Because she was saying like igra, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this is wrong. I think there's something else she meant.
It's not a raisin.
I've been called a raisin, a crab, a raisin, a crab.
Yeah.
She was tough though. She said many things. Like she knew I was friends with Gennady Zalutsky. Just friends really. And he was kind of like my Russian dad. And one time he was in the room next door. You must have been in the room at this point. He was in the room next door and I was on the bar, and then she was like, do you want to be back of the corps? Do you want to be at the back? Because you will be. And then she went, and he won't be able to help you. Like that, pointing to the next room. Yeah, and I was like,
oh my goodness, so intense.
Yeah. And I really kind of, I was like, I just kind of laughed really.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh, how ridiculous. Yeah.
I've been called a balloon.
A balloon.
I've been called Why
were you called a balloon?
I was moving like
okay. So like a balloon that's losing its air after a party.
Like this. Yeah, in a turn combination.
Right.
You look like a balloon.
Yeah.
What else? Fun things. Oh, phlegmatic. I've been called phlegmatic a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm phlegmatic.
Okay.
Oh, I suddenly can't think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not. I haven't been called so much like names.
Yeah,
but I've just had sentences to me. I mean, Sinikova said so many things, which was hilarious. like some just many things. Like sometimes she was unhappy with how we performed the previous day, and we would be warming up on the carpet, and then she would walk past, and it was a particularly bad day the previous day, and then she walked past me and she went, did you sleep last night? And I was like, I really thought, sometimes I'm like, is this a trick question? Like, am I supposed to say no?
Yeah.
Like I've been up all night? Or then I thought in that, like the thoughts that go through in like a millisecond, I was like, but if I say no, she'll be like, why? You need to perform well today. Irresponsible.
Right.
But then I was like, if I say yes, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll go with yes. So I was like, yes. And then she's like, well, I did not. And then she walked away. And I was like, I'm not sure if I passed or failed that. I don't know what happened. And then the class was dreadful.
Yeah.
That was the day she put me back on the side. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember such a day.
It was pretty dire, Suvi.
Was it in the big studio?
No, that was in Pierre Vive-Nice. Pierre Vive-Nice. Yeah. And it was after the Nutcracker audition.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah, I was also very upset after the Nutcracker audition.
I mentally went somewhere during that. It wasn't good, and I ran to the toilet. And do you remember? I ran to the toilet. Basically, I did my Nutcracker audition, and my shoes. I don't know what happened with my shoes. They felt like I had them on the wrong feet, and like something just felt really, really wrong. And then I've spoken about this on my podcast. And then I was doing like bourrées back in the Masha variation because I was close to becoming Masha that year. And I was bourréing back in those many bourrées and I tripped. I tripped a little bit. I tripped back.
I remember. But it wasn't as bad as you felt.
I just mentally, I then went boom.
Yeah.
Completely down.
Yeah.
I tripped and then Alt and I went, Tika. Like Alt and I went, Tika, you know, be careful. And then I was like, oh my God, it must have been huge. She screamed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's ruined. And then I didn't understand how to pull myself back after a small mistake, because I could have still done a really great job.
Yeah.
But I just went mentally, it just went down, down, down. And then I just knew that I completely screwed up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even look. It was a lesson learned during that. And I ran to the toilet and I could hear Sydney Comer in the hallway being like, where is Isabella? Where is Isabella? Gidiana, Isabella, like this. And I was like, I can't hide in this toilet forever. I was like, maybe I can stay here. Maybe I can stay here until she leaves.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
And then I
remember
came
that.
out. Yeah. So the next day, that was what that carpet occasion was about.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah.
And you were like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I was trying to it wasn't. It always feels worse for you when when you make a mistake like that. But like even after that, the ending, you were like thinking that it was so bad, and I was trying to tell you it was not. It just wasn't your best.
No, it wasn't my best, but it's also they made me feel like it was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Yeah. And but you just learn in those moments. I mean, the lesson I learned in that moment was because that was the kind of the first time I was given something really major. I didn't quite trust myself in that moment to take that on. Yeah. And so when I screwed up a little bit, I was also in a phase of everything has to be absolutely perfect for it to be good. If there's any kind of trip up, then that's it. The whole thing's ruined, So that's something I had to work on a lot after that. Yeah. But no, that carpet incident was entertaining. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if she was expecting you to be like, no, I was crying all night.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I was actually this close to not coming in that day. Yeah. I felt really like I haven't slept,
I remember.
But I was like, no, I've got to go in. Yeah. I've got to go in. It's a new day.
New day.
New day. Let's face the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. But she was fun though. Not that we're dwelling on her so much, but we had the same teacher for a while. Yeah. And she used to say, you have a beautiful face.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. No. She did give me other corrections as well. From time to time.
Like
mainly,
nice nose. I'm joking.
Mainly, please turn out and please point your feet. And you need to stretch more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. She was tough with us. Yeah. But I don't know what it was. I really liked her at the same time.
Yeah, I did too. I felt
was
like
really
she
great.
pushed us to be.
It was a really great relationship we had with her. Like she was really tough, strict, blunt, entertaining at the same time. She would call us.
Yeah.
We went to some of us went to her dacha.
And her apartment.
Her dog was called Kitri. Kitari.
Kitari.
Kitari, yeah. And she used to correct us in Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Mecha kirei.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Wait, what else did she
So we
say?
learned Japanese because our Russian teacher, whilst we were in Russia, was speaking Japanese.
To the Japanese
To
students.
the Japanese students, but also to us.
Also to us, yeah.
Like kirei.
Kirei. Yeah.
Beautiful. And kakatomai.
Oh, yeah. Kakatomai. I remember
Kakatomai, heels forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked her. I liked her.
Yeah. So yeah, I think some of the worst things that have been said are kind of just, I haven't had any, let's say abusive behavior that can happen with some teachers, where they kind of really disparage. It's been blunt, it's been strict, but I feel if that's happening, then something's very wrong. And
that shouldn't happen.
You should definitely leave that situation. And we talk about that a lot on the podcast. But yeah, all in all, I actually really just love honest teachers, people who are just like saying it. I'd rather they just say to me, listen, that's not good. You need to work on that. And they just say it in a way that's like, it's not turned out. Let's fix it.
Well, I feel like there's a difference with a teacher saying that's not good enough, but I believe you can do better. So let's work.
Yeah.
And a difference with that's not good enough. I don't think it's not going to work.
Yeah. Or
there's a huge difference.
Or on the other side of it where someone's like, it's
great.
Fine. It's great.
Yeah.
Good job. You're trying. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
That also I feel is almost as equally as damaging.
Yeah, definitely.
Because someone has this idea that everything's great and then they don't get cast or jobs and they're like, what's wrong?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've
always my experience with all of my Russian teachers has been that they are very tough, very honest, but they genuinely see no reason why you couldn't improve and do better. Yeah. Which is even though it's hard sometimes to hear it's not good enough, but it's still, they believe you can do better. So in the end, I find it more inspiring and encouraging.
Yeah, and usually speaking, if they're investing that time in you,
they care.
And if they're caring enough to scream, you look like a crab, then it means that they genuinely think you can do better and that you can improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Oh, well, guys, let us know in the comments if there's any teachers, what's the worst thing they've said to you? Has it been a correction? Has it been just a blunt comment? And what's the best correction you've had? I would actually say, I didn't even say this, the best thing that a teacher said to me, if I'm thinking about corrections as well, was Sydney Cover's arms before legs.
Arms before legs.
Arms before legs.
Life-changing.
Life-changing. And живот наверх. Stomach up when we do arabesque for the lines. That was a huge one. Yeah. Keeping that as one line. Up. Yeah.
This is actually not a correction per se, but sort of like an advice that I've gotten, which has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And this came when I was learning fouettes, and I was really nervous because I was in that, upper level class, and I hadn't done fouettes before, and I really wanted to be good at it. And this was actually something my mom said. I was like, I can only do one. I can't do more. And then my mom said, if you can do one properly, then you can do 32. It's just a matter of strength.
Yeah.
And that helped me somehow be like, okay, if I can master the foundation of the movement once, there is no reason why I can't do it many times. It's just a matter of building strength.
Yes.
To do it.
And being able to keep that sort of form for that many times.
Exactly.
Yeah. But your teacher said she wanted to do 64 if you want to do 32.
Yes. This was a Russian teacher as well. I had her for many years. She always said that if you want to do 32 fouettes on stage, you have to do 64 in the studio.
So wait, when she said that, because obviously it's difficult enough doing 32. So when she said do 64, obviously you couldn't do 64.
I would continue.
No, but I mean, from the starting point, she's gone, right, you can do just about 32. You got to do a 64. How long did it take you to actually end up being able to do 64?
Well, I wouldn't say I never did 64 very well till the end. Like the last 12 were always a struggle.
Yeah.
But maybe 3 to 5 months of doing them regularly, I was able to do well over 40, I would say, at least. Like quite secure. And then it started to get more difficult. But because of that, I was always able to do 32 no problem on stage.
Because that's the thing. Can you do 32 fresh on the spot, you know, with nothing else prior? But can you do 32 after a parade, after a solo, when you're absolutely exhausted and your left leg has gone?
Yeah.
You know, that's why, training for 64 will just help that 32 just feel like much more of a walk in the park than, oh God.
Also mentally, it's like,
I know I can do this.
I know I can do 64.
Yeah.
32, I got this.
And that's just smart. Honestly, I always think like that. That's just smart ways of training.
Yeah.
You know, like doing more than required.
Yeah.
I can do this step fresh. Can I do it exhausted?
Yeah.
Sometimes in the studio, I would do like, you know, some tricky things. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go off and practice another 5 things which are completely different, and then go back to that and be like, can I do it now? After all that, I've done other things, I've been focusing on other things. Can I do it now? A bit tired and with my mind having been somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, now I know it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart girl.
All right, everyone. Huh?
Umnitsa.
That was a nice thing. Umnitsa, clever girl. But then next minute, Dura. Idiot. I would say there were 3 idiots to 1 clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maladies.
And yada volna. I'm happy with that. Yeah. And what else? Maladies, malacom. And then yada volna. Nichivo. I like nichivo. Not bad. Nichivo. Yeah. Palucha.
Oh yeah, better.
Little better. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll chat to you very soon. Let us know in the comments the corrections you've got which have been good for you, as well as any funny things your teachers have said, good and bad.